I'm going to try and use a word picture to help people see the point out of this one. I grew up in Colorado, and when you go hiking in the mountains, the higher the elevation, the more challenging things become. So if you get above tree line, you're kind of towards the ridge or the peak of the mountain, and typically it's rock on rock. There's this thing called scree, and it's just like broken, chipped rocks that's rubbing up against the rock of the mountain. And as you're at that point, the oxygen in the air is thinner. You're typically fatigued, your body's tired. It's pretty steep, and your footing can easily slide. So you have to, my experience in going up the mountain on scree, sometimes you have to get on all fours, to keep moving forward, but you got to keep moving. Otherwise, you're going to slide backwards. Change and good habits take some consistency. And my experience is just when things are about to pivot for you, oftentimes things get a little more challenging. Also, please know, inside of dysfunctional families, friends, people in general, when we change, there's opposition that comes from the people around us. Even people that, love us will do things to undermine our growth. So keep that in mind. So you may be moving in the right direction, and there may be some real friction trying to pull you backwards. And that's the reason for this particular writing. So April 11th. Why continue to come to Al-Anon? Because without spiritual help, living or having lived with an addict is too much for me. I often need help to maintain a rational perspective. I long for a closer relationship with my higher power. The people in my meetings are so warm and loving that I would feel deprived if they were not a regular part of my life. The steps, traditions, and concepts all serve to put structure and goals in my life. Al-Anon is the light that helps me find my way in the dark. As a longtime member, I am familiar with Al-Anon, but I am no more of an authority than any other member. I try not to present myself as a paragon of Al-Anon wisdom, and I discourage newcomers from putting me on a pedestal from which I am bound to fall. I retain the right to have problems, to cry, to make mistakes, to not know all the answers. I still have and use a sponsor. I continue to give service to Al-Anon, but I don't have to be in charge. Today's reminder: the amount of time I've spent in Al-Anon is less important than what I'm doing with that time today. Here's the quote: I don't resort to Al-Anon only to learn to live with active drinking problems or active gaming addiction. It is my way of an increasingly rich and rewarding life as I learn to use the program in depth, and that's one day in time in Al-Anon. Remember, isolation is what we're fighting against. You cannot slide back into isolation. It's not good, and the bad habits can creep back in. So resolve is what it takes. Resolve to take good care of yourself and make that a daily resolve, not just when things are bad, but, you know, every morning you resolve to have a good day. Every day you resolve to make the best of what you have. Yeah, when you're on the mountain, remember, don't slow down. You got to keep going. Don't let the scree get you. All right. See you the next time.